And I'll introduce Ellen Jaffe Jones. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was really sweet. Great to be back here, and thank you all for coming out and fighting for climate justice. I know we can get pretty discouraged trying to get governments to take action while they just seem to drag their feet. And if they don't act, they feel there's nothing else we can do and that we are totally doomed. The U.S. government, as well as far as too many Americans remain fixated on decidedly minor threats of Islamic terrorism, the real peril of climate change persists and is hardly addressed at all. Climate catastrophe is man-made. Hardly any serious political figures in this country have taken meaningful action. That's right. Who has commented on the absurd reality that one of the two American political parties denies the very existence of climate change? That's crazy. Well, the Pentagon, which is hardly progressive, repeatedly warned of its reality and profound consequences. The founder of Sea Shepherd, Captain Paul Watson, who has spoken in our area many times, always says, if the oceans are dying, and when the oceans die, we die. Defending wildlife that cannot speak for itself, Watson says, the state of animal life in our oceans is exceptionally serious. Almost every commercial fishing operation is in a state of decline. What makes the difference, he says, is not big government or organizations. It is the passion of individuals like you and me who inspire change. While waiting for government action, there's something very significant and empowering that we can individually take. A major action that will have a major impact on climate change and other environmental issues. That is by simply switching to a plant-based or vegan diet. That means nothing with a mother or a face. Nothing that poops. You get to vote with your wallet 3 times a day. Animal agriculture and our animal-based diet is the single greatest driver of climate change and environmental degradation. It's so important that we ask ourselves, what can we do as individuals? In fact, the United Nations has reported that animal agriculture accounts for 18% of all greenhouse gas emissions. That's greater than all forms of transportation combined. Trains, cars, trucks, planes, all of that. Other credible studies put that figure at 25% or more. We can meet most, if not all, of our near-term emissions goals simply by switching to a plant-based diet. This buys us the time we need to convert our infrastructure to a carbon-free one. The impact of animal ag and our animal-based diet doesn't just stop at climate change. It is wreaking havoc upon our planet with entire ecosystems. A study released recently says that the U.S. and Canada have lost 30% of our birds. That's crazy. That's since 1970. Animal agriculture consumes 60% of the world's farmland for livestock grazing and for the vast monoculture crops used to feed these animals. These crops are laced with herbicides and pesticides and are polluting the earth. And it's led to the loss of almost 50% of the Earth's biodiversity. Scientists have proclaimed that we are in the midst of a 6th mass extinction of life on Earth. That includes us, everyone. We are going extinct. Our oceans are dying due to overfishing and the acidification of our oceans that's caused by warming waters. And that's what we mean when the oceans die, we die. Plankton, which is a big source of food for other fish in the sea, that is dying off at great rates, and also it is the leading contributor to oxygen in our planet. So when that goes, we are a little short of breath. Our rainforests are being burned and clear-cut. Over 90% of that is for animal agriculture. Again, for livestock grazing and vast feed crops. What's happening in the Amazon and Indonesia? Don't be fooled into thinking it's for tofu. It isn't. It is land used to grow soybeans to feed an insatiable demand for meat. So we do get the opportunity to vote and decide with the choices we make on our dinner plate. 800 million people are starving while we waste land and resources raising and feeding 70 billion farm animals. That's 70 billion. 1 acre of land can produce 40,000 pounds of potatoes, but only 137 pounds of beef. The waste in land and resources is killing our planet, not to mention our health. An Oxford study reports that by switching to a plant-based diet, global farmland can be reduced by 75%. That's an area the size of the U.S., China, Australia, and the EU combined. We can reforest the earth with much of that land. We can restore the earth's biodiversity and returning the ability of forests to assist absorb carbon from the atmosphere. To quote a report from the UN's environmental program, a global shift to a vegan diet is vital to save the world from the worst impacts of climate change. The UN has said the number one thing we can do to reduce our carbon footprint is to give up animal agriculture more than any form of transportation. If you take nothing away from today, remember that and tell 10 of your friends. We do have the power to heal our planet, and it's right on our dinner plate. All it takes is one simple change. For the sake of the earth, please go vegan now. I know you can do it. We must do it, not only for the sake of ourselves and the planet, but for the generations inheriting this train wreck who will eventually say, what were you thinking? What were you doing at the revolution? Thank you all.
Thank you.